Hello and welcome to this episode. Today we're talking about how to stay focused and get things done on important projects. And I'm talking to you if you've been finding yourself distracted and you've been procrastinating on doing important work. First of all, why do people get distracted, and how come people find it difficult to just do the work they need to do on important projects? The first one is fear of failure. We're afraid that if we actually do the work, other people are going to evaluate that work and we will look like failures, especially if the work is not good enough. So there's that constant fear that people have of being good enough, because many people tend to equate their self-worth to their work or to external factors. As a result, you subconsciously procrastinate on getting things done because you don't want people to actually judge and assess your level of skill. The second thing is you're a perfectionist. So you want to do things to the best of your ability and you want everything to be perfect. You don't want anything to go wrong. Unfortunately, that is not the nature of life. Life is full of imperfections. We make mistakes all the time. Things go wrong. Things break down. Communication breaks down, and even if you're a scholar or an academic and you're very educated, we're still always learning. So there's always something to improve on. And unfortunately, that perfectionism stops people on their tracks. And maybe that might be you right now. You've been putting off that important project because you call yourself a perfectionist. Personally, I used to relate as a perfectionist, but now I do not believe in that at all. I make sure that whenever I'm procrastinating, I call myself out, or whenever I find myself saying, I want it to be perfect, then I know that there's a hidden agenda. Usually it's just that fear trying to reach a standard that is unattainable. The other reason that we fall behind and we procrastinate on doing important work is because we work best under pressure. I can definitely relate with this because I remember in university, I would wait until the very last minute to set a deadline for myself. However, the problem comes when people leave university, and this is where the trouble starts. After university, there's no set lessons, no set timing. We were used to primary school, secondary school, university, where our timetables were made for us and we had to show up, otherwise there were consequences. But now as an adult in your work, there's no one who is micromanaging you or keeping an eye on you to make sure that you're doing this important work. As a result, you really find it hard. And that's why you find that people with ADHD, they tend to get diagnosed as adults, especially after university when they enter into the work world, because the structure is no longer there. You have to discipline yourself and you have to make yourself do the work. So maybe you are that person, you need the adrenaline and you work best under pressure. And today I've got a technique that I'm going to tell you about, and this technique is really going to change your life. I use this technique especially when I'm creating content or I'm doing work in my online business, because I know that for me, I need that self-discipline and self-structure. So I need this technique in order for me to keep on doing work on important projects, especially when I'm distracted, especially when I'd rather not do it, especially when I'm procrastinating. So stay tuned. Before I share this technique with you, I know that getting important work done is really going to truly change your life, because you can relate with that feeling, when you're feeling bad because you haven't done what you're supposed to do, and also that feeling of guilt when you haven't done what you said you would do as well. And I think that those emotions suck our energy and they're not necessary. And whilst they're part of being human and sometimes we can't help it, I think that in some circumstances we can actually help it and we can actually change the situation. So first of all, before I tell you this technique, I want you to actually decide what your important work and project is. And once you've identified that important project, because part of it is really knowing your priorities, then I want you to first of all resolve that you're actually going to do it and stick with it, because I know you can. Then you're going to use what is called the Pomodoro technique in order to get your important work and project project done. What is the Pomodoro technique? It's actually working in bursts of 25 minutes and then giving yourself a 5-minute break afterwards. And what it does is it enables you to just concentrate deeply for a limited amount of time, whilst knowing that you have a reward coming up, which is your 5-minute break. And the trick is not to go past that 25 minutes. What this timer does is really going to get your adrenaline going, because you've given yourself a deadline. You're trying to sprint and do the most that you can within those 25 minutes, because as we know, our brain is motivated by reward. We feel good when we do what we need to do, and then when we get the reward afterwards. And even waiting for a reward motivates us to even want to do more. So what you're going to do is you're just going to set that timer on your phone, get going for those 25 minutes. You're doing nothing else except the important project that you need to do. And I'll just let you in on this. Even with recording this video, I actually use that technique as well. I have my timer that is going off right now on my phone, because I know that I only work best in bursts of concentration. And then after those 25 minutes are done, even if you feel like you want to keep on going and you want to keep on working, the secret is to actually stop when you feel like it. Go eat whatever you're going to eat. Go have a cup of tea. I know for me, I'm a tea lover. Go have a coffee. Maybe for some of you, have a 5-minute power nap, whatever it is. And then you'll find that as you work like this, using this Pomodoro technique, even the way you do your work and your projects is going to change, because then you start taking massive action and seeing results on those important goals. And then the more action you take, the more you're motivated to do more. And I just want to give my friend credit for this, because he told me about this technique a few weeks ago. He was like, you know what? You need to try the Pomodoro technique and it's going to change your life. And he told me that a work colleague who is highly efficient and effective uses this technique, and he used to wonder. So he asked his colleague, how come you're so good at what you do? What makes you really smart and really sharp? And this colleague was like, okay, I'll let you in on my secret. I use the Pomodoro technique. So I really want you to apply this. Set a timer, decide what goal, important project you want to complete. Set a 25-minute timer, work for those 25 minutes, and when the timer goes off, stop and actually give yourself a 5-minute break, and then come and let me know in the comments below how that actually worked for you, because I truly want to know, because I know that for our generation, concentration is such a big issue, because we have distractions coming at us from all angles. We have distractions when it comes to our mobile phones. We have distractions coming in from media, TV, articles. There's so much bombarding us from every level at every minute of the day. So much that concentration has become a highly valuable commodity. And if you become one of those people that can highly concentrate and get important work done consistently, then, there's no other, the only logical step from there will be to rise above your peers, get promoted, advance in your career, excel, whether in your personal life or in your work life. And you'll find that you have time, especially for those things that you love, because so many times people say we don't have time simply because they're spending all this time. They're not keeping track of what they're doing within a specific time frame. So using this Pomodoro effect in the different areas of your life is really going to be a game changer, and I can't wait for you to share that with me. The only last reminder when it comes to this Pomodoro effect is stay with it until you're done with that task. So don't put it down and say, I'll come back to it tomorrow. No, stay with it until you've achieved a particular milestone of that task. And I guess it helps, and I should probably have said it at the beginning, that when it comes to this project or task, break it down into actionable steps, so that if Monday you're only doing 5 steps, then you know what, I have 5 more to go, and there's that level of structure within your brain. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and watch the other videos that are related to this. If you really want to get important work done and you want to stay productive, then watch the rest of the videos below. Thank you.